I know.
Rhys?
Are you happy with that?
It's cool.
Rhys?
I like Bickies.
Merry Christmas from the podcast.
Oh my god, I have a lot. Wait, do you hear me, bro?
And Douglas, Merry Christmas.
What have I got?
Podcast.
Ah, that looks like you.
You got generic villager number 1.
That's awesome. That is actually super good.
Merry Christmas,
And welcome to the Trusty Crowbar.
boys and girls.
This is our 2014 Year in Review episode.
Geez, your boys out?
20 Sorry, I'll start again. This is episode 94, and it's our 2014 Year in Review.
Ah, so you tried to say it was smart. That's
Did
fine.
you like my wording on Facebook? The year that was. I thought I was like real.
Very heartfelt.
artsy.
We used to have a thing in high school where we did the week... primary school. Yeah, primary school. The week that was.
Yep.
We used to have to write out what we did that week.
Because they
what
all
we
thought
learned.
the kids were stupid and don't have memories.
The week that was.
Do you remember anything? No, I did not.
Fail.
It's just interesting phrasing. I
Yep.
don't know why it came into my head. I liked it. I was like, let's type it.
That's fine. The
So
week
I'm
that
Lucas Whittingslow,
I'm Rhys Whittingslow.
And I'm Douglas Bright.
and let's have a look back at our anticipated games of 2014.
Yep.
Rhys, can you put in nice little sort of twinkly music that's taken us back in time?
Yeah, I'll do it right here.
Yeah.
There you go. I synced it up very well with Luke's lips just
Yeah.
then.
Whoa, thunder.
Is that thunder?
Who farted?
Here comes the thunder! No one will hear that. They'll probably be like, what are these guys talking about?
All right, let's have a look. So, Doug.
If we abruptly
Okay.
lose connection, that means electricity's gone off
Yep.
in our studio. Doug's house.
Apartment.
studio. Just
So
combine the two.
it'll work out. We'll be fine. It's okay.
If I
But
still-
let's do
Before we
it.
dive into that, is there anything big happened this week? Just
Is there
real
anything
quick.
you want to tell us, Doug?
No, I'm
Something
right.
you want to bring up?
Oh yeah, Rhys got engaged.
Oh, that too. Yep. Got engaged. So all you ladies out there that's hunting me down, I'm not single anymore. Actually, I was never single anyway.
Too
so
late,
it's fine.
Pirate Mel.
It's all good.
So,
You can get fucked.
Was
Just
there
quickly
something-
though, I wasn't asking like, ooh, I've got a big tidbit.
So you
Like,
just
I
wasted a period of time.
You should have just left it.
Yeah, shut the fuck
don't know
up.
if you guys had anything exciting happening.
Doug's like, I was asleep all week.
Did anything exist? I don't know. Like,
Did the sun come up this week?
maybe.
wasn't ever anything.
I heard you walk the dogs, Doug, so that's pretty
that
cool.
I tell you what, this is the final couple of weeks to Christmas.
The Crew came
Nothing great. No, that was a week and a bit ago, Doug.
And still no one cares. Get it? Shit.
Maybe you just don't have a call it off crew, Doug.
That's true. You're part of it.
Oh, shit.
All right, let's start with Doug's, eh? Doug,
What are we doing?
your 3 most anticipated...
Don't start with me. You know that I haven't.
No, this is what was. Is
This is
right?
what was.
Hang on,
Okay.
when I did 2014,
Yeah.
did I add an extra game to that?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So now we got 4 for
Right.
Oh,
2050.
sweet. So can then I give a little quick recap? Hold me at 45 seconds per game.
Oh, bullshit.
That's all I
And you're
have
like,
to
oh,
figure
this
out.
is all we got left for the podcast. Sorry, guys.
And
We
then
didn't
just
get
cut
to
it
talk
off. That's
at
all. It
all.
doesn't matter where I'm up to.
Yeah.
Just cut it off at 45 seconds.
All right.
Is this, so you got to do a recap on those games.
Good, bad.
No, you got to say it in 45 seconds.
Okay. So,
120 words.
yeah. 120 characters.
Yeah.
Just say these fucking games.
This is
I still don't know.
this was from last year, 2013. Our Trusty Crowbar most anticipated games releasing
I'm
in
getting
2014.
nervous. Like,
Douglas Bright, you chose.
Number one.
did I
You chose Watch Dogs.
Holy
God.
shit. What a joke.
that was like the one AAA. It was probably just the token AAA title I threw in there because
No,
I
it
was
wasn't.
excited.
It wasn't.
And okay,
Like,
Do you
I've
know-
got to give it to you. Like, what the game looked like, it looked pretty amazing when they first
Yeah.
spoke and talked
Oh.
about it. And by shit, were they wrong.
Rhys, you also chose Watch
Oh,
Dogs.
fuck. Well, let's just, easily say the game was shit. I didn't finish the game. I traded it in about
The game...
4 hours in.
Yeah, for me, it was I played it for about 4 to 5 hours. It didn't captivate me at all with the characters or the gameplay, the mechanics, or extra little bits you could do. So I was... And this was a post-Grand Theft Auto 5 era.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to get an open-world
Post
game.
or pre?
Post.
It was after GTA.
After
came out.
GTA 5. Not for you, Doug, though. I don't think you played... I don't think
You probably played it last week and you were like, oh, this game's pretty cute.
Really? Watch Dogs came out after GTA?
Watch Dogs came out this year, mate. GTA came out last year.
Jeez, I'm bad with time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay,
Remember
so-
how, like, this is the thing for 2014?
I didn't even know that. Okay.
All right, that's 45 seconds. The game sucked.
Cool. Number 2, Titanfall.
Ah.
Oh, I did like
Doug
that.
played that once.
No, I
He
actually-
enjoyed it. Jetpacks.
I didn't
Double
do
jump.
a huge amount of it. I could check, I think, like 30 hours I played on that. But I'd got that on PC. No one I really knew had it on PC, which totally
Yeah.
sucked it out.
So
But-
this is going to sound like a very stressful podcast because there's thunder coming. I think it's the word saying these
You're
games
wasting my
suck
45
dogs.
seconds. Really enjoyed it. It was probably a little just samey. All those sort of shooters still get samey, even if it's got a cool mechanic to it, the extra bit of the
Jetpack.
Titans. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the jetpacks.
Oh, yeah, and them.
Yeah, the Titans are pretty significant part
Yeah.
of it. But I see updates and things roll through and it doesn't ever
Feel like
bring
it
me
changes.
back. Yeah, and the other problem too, like what was probably good, I jumped in fairly early so that I wasn't like a sucker really behind, even though lots of people have played it in beta.
Yeah.
But now I really don't want to revisit it because I feel it's so skill based that you go back now, everyone knows the maps and just destroy it.
And that's 45 seconds.
Yep.
I think
So I enjoyed it, but it wouldn't then be anywhere near my game of the year.
Yeah,
Just an enjoyable game.
I think the disappointing thing about me for Titanfall was that the majority of the people on the screen were not other players. Like, it was an 8-player game, I'm pretty sure, don't hold me to that, but it got filled up with NPC characters, like just like bots, basically.
No, there was like the way not every map was that way or every match, but it was actually quite good. That mechanic was really good.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, for sure. So it never really, depending on what play style you're on, it still contributed to the overall sort of death, like point system, but not a death counter. So you weren't getting kills per se, but there was points associated.
Okay.
So
And that's another 45 seconds.
that was actually really good. He brought up a point. I was finished. All right.
Okay, number 3, Doug, was Star Citizen.
Yeah. Hey, Doug, did that come out this year?
A portion of it.
Oh, that's good. That's great.
Which
Did you play it much?
no.
No.
It,
Why is that, Doug?
It already doesn't run that
Have you
well
found
on
out
my
how to put your
computer.
helmet on yet?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
It was a
that's good.
game that people kickstarted for something for computers in 4 years' time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this game will run on a computer you don't own right now.
Yeah.
So
It's like, hey, do you want to kickstart Crisis
pay
1?
for it
No.
and get it in like a year's time.
This
in
is
like
the
4 years'
first time, though, I feel, in a long time that started to happen. I remember back originally PC games, they came out and it took 4 years for the PC to catch up. Like the original Far Cry, I remember playing that years later and they had released patches to unlock different, like a different DirectX version that work with it.
The last great computer I ever had, like I spent $2,500 on, right? And like the graphics card
You
alone,
and I had the same computer. at
the
this stage.
graphics card alone I spent $650 on. Now that, when you look at it now, like you can buy a whole PlayStation 4 for that price. But I just paid for graphics
That's
card
what my
just so
graphics-
that I could run Far Cry and look at the pretty textures
Yeah.
really well. So yeah, Star
but
Citizen, not out.
It's like a non-event still for me at this stage. I'm sure people are getting lots of mileage out of the, like there's the just the combat, the plane combat, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm struggling for
Dogfighting.
words. Yeah,
Yeah.
dogfighting's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
That's out. But like I said, I don't like not playing it on full spec, and yeah, my
So you just
computer
leave it.
can't ever
Yeah.
do it. Like you still need a hefty computer to play it. But there's not much there at the moment, so it's a bit of a Yep.
Rhys.
Oh,
Yep.
we only got 3.
Yeah, only 3
cool.
for 24.
So-
Okay, you picked Watch Dogs, so we already discussed that. The other one, number 2, Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. I was very pleased with that
Yeah.
game. That was
I still haven't.
the first
Played
game
it.
in a
I
long
couldn't
time
get into that at
of a
all.
first person. I think it's more that I'm a bit of a fangirl for Wolfenstein games. But it
back
was a
to
game
what,
that did bring me back to age-old first-person shooting games, which felt really, really nice to play.
From what
it
I've
was
seen
good. There
of
was
it-
a change of not
Yeah.
just regenerative health. Like you
Yeah.
literally had to find health packs and whatnot,
Yeah.
which was really a good. It was a new take, but it was an old take revised.
It's what a video game you can actually make in a video game is like just
Yeah.
this guy who can carry an arsenal of weapons on his back, and you don't really care. He's just literally, hey, I've got this massive gun and I'm going to blow shit up. And it's like, sweet, I can do that because it's a video game.
Yeah. I absolutely love anything to do with World War II. That's like favorite era
that's
of
your
time.
era.
TV
Yeah.
shows, movies, anything. I love that
I guess
shit.
was about to
that's
say-
still the last great, like, I know it's a terrible time, but it's still the last great event which happened. That
So much
people
production and-
people can, connect to and link
Yeah.
to. Like,
I think that they're going to throw back to that on an off-topic thing, but
Yeah.
when we talked about they're going to do more future games, when we called that there'll be a Call of Duty Future Warfare. Which
I
obviously
went back
was.
and listened to episode 9, and we were talking about Call of Duty Future Warfare, we called
Yeah,
it.
we
Oh,
called
wow.
it that. Yeah.
Well, there was actually, I did read a little post on Reddit, like just today, sitting on the dunny, doing my business, and someone
That's
did
45
post a
seconds,
thing.
mate.
Hey, that's something different. Just quickly, and they said, when will they bring out a game where you're playing as the Axis team? So you play like a Call of Duty game in World War II as not necessarily a Nazi, but more of as a German, and like you go through the word.
Are
of
you
seeing-
talking like specifically a first-person shooter? Like, there's
Yeah,
plenty
yeah.
of
So,
games
like-
that are like real-time strategy that you are either side.
No, but like a first-person shooter game, like a Call of Duty, where there's stories and all that stuff that happen in it, but you're
without being a double agent at the end.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're seeing all your friends die, and then you're questioning your country's purpose of what you're doing.
I'll throw in on that. So it'd be interesting because people get a bit upset, like
Oh,
the different
yeah.
countries do with,
Yeah.
all right, you're always killing Germans or Russians or whatever it be.
Yeah.
Okay. But then the Western society moves on. They're like, oh, they're complaining. Okay. Westerners like Yanks, obviously, that's probably where the big publisher houses are. It's all US based and UK and stuff. Yeah, well, when that's where your majority of the audience is, you're going to upset them.
Yep.
But then on top of that, and this would be another thing. So even if you got past that, okay, I've got really, great characters, good storyline. Problem is, you know who's going to win. That's the other thing too. So you're playing not just the underdog side that might get up. You're on the underdog side that everyone knows lost.
Yep.
So that's an issue. But even if you get around that, how would you treat? Would you read subtitles for the whole game, or would you have really bad?
Did you ever watch the movie Valkyrie?
No.
Which was a movie with Tom Hanks that started off talking
Tom
in
Hanks,
German.
Tom Cruise.
My bad.
Tom Hanks. Wilson!
Wilson!
No, actually, I did watch it.
where it goes German for a little bit and then it transfers to them talking in English.
Do you know the other movie that
I
did
watched
that?
a documentary 2 or 3 years prior that then spoiled that whole.
Yeah, see,
No.
however, I watched that movie and I got to the same point and fell asleep at the start because I was real tired.
There was another movie that did that, like talking in another language and then transition English.
Yeah.
Battlefield Earth. Did you guys?
Oh my God, that was a horrible movie.
Hey, so anyway, what I was saying,
Like, when is Deep
So that's
Stock?
what I mean. So
I don't
feel
think a
that-
shooter would work if you're the Axis. I think a game about an individual story throughout the war, like This War of Mine type thing, would
Yes, that-
would be an
I totally
interesting
agree.
take
Yeah.
on it, and one that would actually people would purchase, because I don't think people would want to go out and be like, hey, I'm going to buy a game where
No.
I am Hitler.
And I don't
You
want
know?
to.
Dude, as if that wouldn't like get sold.
But
Hitler's Revenge.
the,
He's back.
He's black.
not to talk out
Black?
of place,
What?
but it's like generally speaking, like you
Yeah,
speak to.
you know your place, Doug.
Yeah, I know. But you speak
Shut your
like
mouth.
the few Germans I've sort of spoken to. German a little bit taboo. They don't want to have any like that whole part. of history.
Germany's moved away from World War II. They want to distance themselves from that idealism that was around then. It's
but-
like the swastika is completely... You're not allowed to have it printed or
naughty.
put up anywhere. So, yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like they wouldn't get any enjoyment out of it.
No.
No.
So even so,
Yeah, so true.
that's.
But
what
it'd be interesting to see. Someone might make a mod for it. Who knows? I think it might have been a mod that someone made.
yeah,
I don't know. I think it was.
Could have happened.
All right, okay, go on.
Okay,
What's
yeah.
the next game?
South Park, The Stick of Truth.
I love that game.
Okay.
Again, it was another game that had a really cool element of time-based,
Yeah.
like fighting, but you had to do something different,
was-
which a lot of other games didn't do.
Very surprising how good that game
I was going to
ended
pick that
up
up
being.
Steam sale really cheap,
Yeah.
and then I realised that I don't know if I like that style RPG the same way you guys do.
I don't think it's...
It wasn't necessarily an RPG. It was very linear.
Yeah.
No, but that style, the combat style, which is it probably reminiscent of Final Fantasy and stuff?
It was similar to that, but they added something different to it, which made it
I'd
so
never
much
played
different.
any of those, so I don't have that Super Nintendo throwback or anything.
No, it was like a homage to all classic like RPGs. It wasn't really like, hey, this is literally we're making an RPG and South Park. It's literally we're making a South Park game and we're going to chuck in a lot of video game jokes.
References, yeah. Like it was a game that like I bought it because I love South Park. Didn't really care about what the game was, but I knew that it was going to be good because it was in this sort of generation era.
So
like,
fun,
it was
so
very
funny.
good
I
game.
laughed really hard a lot.
It's the
in
first
that
game that I've laughed hysterically in.
Yeah.
A couple of people...
Can you give us a...
It was thrown up on our Facebook today as a few people like this sort of, not a sleeper hit, but it was a surprise hit. And I think that's, like, you wanted it to be good.
Yeah.
You had played it early access at a conference, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. And you enjoyed it straight away.
Yeah.
I think we could probably listen to the episode. But I think it's still a surprise that something that's got so strong fan base and so strong... like so many episodes that they can work off for South Park that actually turned out to be good. Would you like? Are we going to do the surprise, like our surprise?
Yeah,
I know that sort of transitions across a little bit, but would you agree with that, Rhys? Even though that was like your anticipated game, are you still like, I guess, at least pleasantly surprised that it was that good, or were you just like, no, it was going to be good? Like, did you? Like,
well, I guess it's just like Watch Dogs. You don't really know what the game's going to be like until you start to playing it. So it is always a surprise, whatever game you really get,
but
that it's going to be great. Like you anticipate, hey, I'm really anticipating to play this game. I hope it's good. Yeah. But anyway,
I wasn't really shocked, but yeah.
so my 3, all right, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes.
Yep. And why?
Why? I love the Metal Gear games. However,
So you were happy about it, but...
no. Okay, so I enjoyed it, but I was quite disappointed in it. And like looking back on it now, I've actually got that in my disappointed list of a bunch of games. Just because it's super short. I know that you got repetition to actually go through and play the game differently, but I only played it through twice, and I was like, okay, well, now I'm really just waiting for Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain.
I've got this on a list of the smartest sales stunts for the year. And I believe that game was one of the smartest sales stunts.
A demo for
me.
but it was
because-
full price.
No, it wasn't. No, it was cheaper. It was like $30.
$44.
Yeah.
Even though you guys are not really racing game people, where'd you put it against GT Prologue, Gran Turismo?
I didn't even know that existed.
I basically put it the same.
Yeah.
It's basically a Gran Turismo Pro, like a GT5 Prologue, yeah.
To me, this game was more... Like, this was the best idea for me because I originally wasn't going to buy Metal Gear. I loved the idea of Metal Gear, but I hated the controls of all the old Metal Gears that they didn't feel right. The button configuration was annoying, and just it didn't really grip me that it was... You really had to like pretty much read a manual to understand the concept of the game.
Because I tried to play the one...
I tried to play Snake Eater. Yeah, and that just
Oh, you just couldn't get it?
pissed
Wow.
me off. Just the buttons and everything was just like... I was like, how do I just hold this guy up?
Do you know the only difference between the buttons of it is like circle and X are basically flipped around?
It's amazing that two buttons like that does. When
Yeah.
I play Street Fighter 4, I switched to LB and RB to RB and
Oh, really?
whatever they are. Swap them over. I'm awesome at Street Fighter, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it just made me want to buy the shit out of the game that comes out. And
Maybe I should look at it.
I'm a bit sad that it doesn't have an S at the end of the Phantom Pains. I wish it had that.
That upsets me
Yep.
by no end.
Yeah.
All right, my other game was Broken Age Act 2.
And that didn't come out, did it,
Has
Lucas?
not come out yet.
No.
So,
What's going on there?
so that is now coming out next year, like January, February.
Yep.
They've actually said that like Act 1 was like a 4-hour game to get through. Act 2 is going to be a 20-plus hour.
Why would they have done that, but
They just had so much more.
I don't think it was 4 hours. I got to feel like
Double
it was longer than
Fine
that.
are on my naughty list.
Ooh,
Yeah.
So I'm look. That game has now moved off to my most anticipated games of 2015.
Yeah,
all
I
right, it's
didn't agree
on
with
my
that,
list
but-
there because Act 1 I loved, absolutely adored. That game was fantastic.
I still have not
great
played that.
throwback to old school classic adventure games.
Do you know what I loved about that game? Playing it for a little while, I'm like, I know this voice. How do I know this voice?
I'm like, is this
And I
Frodo?
checked up, I watched some of the videos about who it is, and I was just like, where is that? Elijah Wood walks in the studio.
Did anyone, off topic again, anyone watch Tron? Lucas probably did. The animated series by Disney.
I watched a couple of episodes.
It's really good. And he was the main voice. No, he was the main voice.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Oh yeah, it was good. Just off topic.
Damn.
No, really
I watched it today and I was like, oh, Tron.
No, really,
This is why Doug was naked when I arrived to his house.
We rocked up and he was shirtless. Stiff nipples. He's like,
and you come around, you're like, Doug, I didn't know you smoked.
he's got like Tron cut into his arm and stuff like that.
All right, we're getting deep.
Yep, cool.
Anyway, yeah. My other one was The Witness.
The Witness.
I don't even know
Why do you pick games that don't come out?
I know.
Lucas?
What? Like, these were games were like coming out in 2014
Was
and
that a
pushed back.
PS4 indie game?
Yes.
The cool
It
art
was.
style?
It was the next game from the guys that made Braid.
Yeah.
So, and I love Braid. Thought fucking
Was it-
awesome? So
part of the PS4 indie trailer.
yes.
Yep, cool.
Yeah, it was the cool little first-person one which had the puzzles that you walked up to.
When is that shooting game where when you move it slows and speeds up time?
Super hot.
God, I'm terrible at this podcast. I should write that down.
That's in
That's coming
early
next
access
year.
now, isn't
Yeah.
it? So,
I'm not too sure. I know it's coming in next year.
all right. So that is our most anticipated games for this year of what we thought, and as you can clearly see, there was a bunch which were terrible, a bunch which were good, basically Rhys's ones that he picked, and a bunch which didn't come out, basically the ones I picked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then there were Doug's. All right, 2015. You guys want to run through this?
Yep.
All right, let's start with you, Rhys.
Okay.
All right, let's go for the 4 games you got.
Yep.
All right. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Cannot wait for that game.
Batman-
This
oh, sorry. Oh.
Just quickly.
Oh,
The
okay.
Witcher 3 is going to be the game that is going to be like Skyrim for me. I'm going to absolutely love this game, but I can't configure change my character.
Did you even look at Dragon Age?
Dragon
What a
Age.
Dragon Age, I have looked at it. It looks really interesting, but I really don't like the combat style. The combat style to me looks very MMO-ish, and that pisses me off.
It did look like that, but I was speaking to one of the girls at work, and she says that you can just play the game without going into like the tactical mode. So, did you play Mass Effect? I can't remember if you
No, I
played
don't like Mass Effect.
No, yeah. So, Doug, it plays like Mass Effect, but with swords. So,
Well, it's BioWare.
I really like it.
It's
Yeah.
not like they're really going
I was
change
about to
it that
say,
much.
I think it's because I feel Rhys doesn't like BioWare.
I agree. The Witcher 3 looks amazing.
Yep.
And
It's been pushed. We never.
It
talked
has
in
about
March.
I thought it was. Someone told me it was
March
May.
13th,
No, it
I
was
think it was.
May.
Oh, is it
was
May?
the push? Yeah.
All right, that's way
Okay,
too
May
far.
13th, I think it
Like
was.
12 weeks, they told me it got pushed back.
Yeah.
I was like,
Brilliant.
what?
One of
Really?
the kids that comes into my work all the time was like, "Oh, I just can't wait for February, man. It's gonna be sick." And like, he just doesn't research games, and it was just like, "Man, which is gonna be sick." And I'm like, "Oh, do you got pushed back?" And he's like, "What?"
It would have been a good.
Just shattered.
Would have been a good holiday game.
Oh, for sure. Play the shit out of
So
it.
good.
All right, next one.
Okay, Batman Arkham Knight.
Yep. Another
That
game
looks
amazing.
really nice. It is.
I cannot wait for an enemy that is not frickin' Joker.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of him.
Well, it's not the Joker anymore.
Yeah, I know. He's dead. It's all good.
However, it is the Arkham Knight, a mysterious.
Yeah, well, it's a
Bad
character
guy.
made for
I'm pretty sure it's the
game.
Joker underneath the mask.
that. If that fucking is, I'll literally lose my fucking shit.
He's like,
Oh.
who are you, Arkham Knight?
Joker! I got you again, Batman! I would just be like, nah, fuck you, Rocksteady.
As Batman, there
Eat a
should
dick.
literally be 2 options, like Circle or X or something, and Circle's like, no. I'm not Batman anymore.
Flip the
Everyone
Everyone-
like it is, walks out, punches me in the face,
Have
and walks
too
off.
much
Or if he
money
just
to deal
kills
with
him.
this shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to chip in there. I enjoyed previous Batmans more than I thought I would have. Like, they're just generally fun to play. I think would probably play it, really like it. Still don't know if it then would become like a game of the year for me, or even most
An
anticipated.
anticipated game, yeah.
Even
I
with
agree,
them-
because it looks
Sorry to
looks
shoot yours
good,
down. Yeah.
but it is just another Batman game.
No,
and I think I
this
played
is-
the greatest one, which is City, and that was fantastic.
And I
I
don't
like
know
it.
if the
I like Asylum
driving
better.
side even excites me that much.
The thing that excites me about this is that Rocksteady are doing it again. They didn't do Origins.
Did you play through Origins?
Yeah, I finished Origins. Yeah, they didn't do Origins, and I think they've just gone, we want to finalise Batman and say, this is it.
Yeah, we've got
This
a
is what
Superman game in the
Batman is.
works, and we want to get rid of Batman.
Yeah,
No.
I think the thing that still restricts, even though you're like, yeah, I can play, it's my favourite superhero in a more open city, is you're still restricted to what that character does or doesn't do.
Yeah.
Batman can do everything, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Batman.
I'm Batman.
But
I'm not Superman.
No, he's Batman.
I can still fly.
He's Batman.
I can glide.
That's right, shut up, Doug. My next game? What's my next one?
All right, Uncharted 4.
We talked about that last
No,
week.
sorry, A Thief's End.
a thief.
Cannot wait for that game.
I hate that title.
It's going to be amazing. I love Nolan North.
I'm jumping in too because it's.
This is also in yours, Doug.
Yep.
Such a good game. Like, it will be hopefully a longer game than what the other ones were, because they were pretty long anyway. I still love them, and they...
I wouldn't want any longer. That's what I was about to say with Batman, why I would play it, and what I haven't been playing for a long time, and why The Witcher, as much as looks like a game I really would enjoy,
See,
I just don't have that time.
If this is going to be their last one, which I doubt it, because they've always said before, Uncharted is a game that literally can have as many stories as possible. It's a Indiana Jones.
Well, it's already
video
been
games.
guessed that they're like, oh, A Thief's End. Oh, he's going to die. And then we watched the latest trailer and it's like, oh, his brother is another thief.
No, I don't think they're going to give it away that easy. I think it's just going to be something about maybe like Drake, the actual, his ancestor.
Yeah.
Might be the story about how he died.
I don't like that they have as, and that's probably that's a good point too. As
You heard it here first.
As a title that is like
A final.
with end in it. It's final. No, it's so suggestive.
Yeah.
You're like, you'd get to the end of that and you're like, oh, like there's almost no outcome from the story that I could see that I'd be happy with the title. Because if a main character dies, you're like, oh, that's disappointing. But if it does just turn out to be, i.e. his great ancestor, and that was the end of him, you're like, well, it doesn't seem to have as a bigger meaning. Like for me, there's not
Perhaps
a good
there's
resolve.
like a finale scene just like at the last scene of like Batman Arkham Knight where he's just like, nah, I'm done, not a thief anymore, I'm sick of this, I've made enough money.
Click X
I'm
to pay
now going to
respects.
be Batman, and it transitions into him just dressed up as Batman.
I'm the Batman.
But after seeing the latest gameplay trailer, just further reinforces that that's the sort of AAA title I just really enjoyed. Like, so much production value in it that it's just like playing a movie.
Something I didn't get
That's why I
to
love them.
point out from the trailer, the long trailer that we watched, the scenery looked very Pixar style.
You reckon?
Like, looked like up, very up, but not cartoon. I know, it's super hard to sort of explain
more
that.
like Avatar. Like, it definitely, I think they're more just, the production value is probably to the point where everything felt so lush. And I think you're right, like it was overly green and overly...
Yeah.
Is that what you're
I
That's
felt
what
like
I'm
the
sort
big
of-
leaves looked very plasticky.
Yeah, but that's what up looks like, and that's why I'm sort of linking it with that. So they're just large plastic things.
But I like it interacted really well. Like, Rhys' biggest complaint, and I can't remember what the last game you still complained about that I thought looked pretty good, was grass or whatever not looking as good and it popping in and everything. But it looks like that. They're like, it felt dense. And you really, like, immersive. But
It's
little
really
cycling.
hard to excite us now, isn't it? Like these games, like
No,
we're
I'm
seeing
excited about
something. No, like we're excited about these, but seeing something where you're just like, wow, that's completely changed.
I think we
like,
analyse stuff more, and it's like I've always looked at games that way for the longest time. But it's probably worse when you can appreciate why things like not that I'm any big developer or anything, and it must be terrible for someone that develops games to actually sit and just play a game.
Yeah.
But I think more the problem is, and probably Rhys's point always is with, the grass was flat or the leaves were flat, is if you notice it and it pulls you out of the game experience, that's when it's not worked. But I'm definitely hands down just, it looks amazing, and that's definitely excites me. Like, how long were the previous ones? Were they 20 hours? I can't remember.
yeah, 15.
I remember playing and it was getting a good length. But Yeah, I'm looking forward to just having a game like that where I'm like...
Just a fun adventure game.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be good. Your final one, Rhys, The Division.
The Division.
Now, this is also on Ben's list as well, and he could make it tonight. Good on him.
I cannot wait for that game. Because that game, I hope that it's not going to be as disappointing as what Destiny was, as much as I played the shit out of that game. But, there was just no... What do you call it? Stuff in the game to do other than shoot.
Yeah.
But, I can't wait to play... Because other than World War II stuff, post-apocalyptic stuff is my second favourite shit. I love
don't know if it's
Fallout.
post-apocalyptic or more just post-war.
No, it's a post of a virus that went through.
Oh, is it?
The world.
Yeah. See, I haven't...
Yeah, it's
Maybe
pretty
we
much
discussed that. I can't
to
remember.
me, it's more of... Actually, I hope I'm right. Oh, that was me. Guy got volume.
It's a Tom Clancy game?
To me, yeah, even though he's passed away, but that makes sense.
Oh,
He passed away a while ago.
Yeah.
To me, it's the world of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes without the apes.
Yeah.
So it's the story of the humans, and that's why people are avoiding. They go around blasting places with fire.
It's almost
it looks
Last of
amazing.
Us.
Yeah, I cannot wait for this game.
It's almost Last of Us
Yeah.
without the infected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a bit prior to that, because Last of Us is like, hey, 20 years later.
Yeah, no, it's the virus happening. And
Yeah.
I can't believe they've
It looks
attached
kinda
it to a Tom Clancy thing.
It's an Ubisoft game.
Yeah,
Tom
okay.
Clancy name.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so The Division does look pretty cool. Not in my list. Rhys, you are very much a AAA
I am. I'm
gamer.
a AAA whore.
You
I've
are.
realised that after doing my whole games last year and then games this year,
Yeah.
because that's the game. Honestly, I'm a sucker for advertisement. They're games
Yeah.
that advertise to the shit house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but then you're playing
all
the
indie
War
games.
of Mine,
Yeah,
and you've been loving that.
yeah. But that's a game that wasn't advertised, so I didn't even know about that. So it came out, and I was like,
And
"Holy
then
shit,
front-
this is cool!"
And then front pages.
No, but even so, the games that you put a lot more time into are the AAA ones.
Yeah.
And it's balanced out. The indie titles you don't actually play for as long, but you don't look at the indie titles as
This is the thing,
hey,
because a lot of
there's
indie
some interest
titles.
in this.
This comes down to me being a lazy sack of shit. Indie titles normally come on computer.
Yeah.
When I want to play games, I want to sit on my awesome, comfy couch that I spent a lot of money on, and sit in front of my
big spender.
my big 55-inch TV
Okay, so when I
next to my fiance. I can say that now. La-di-da.
So I'm sort of when you scroll through the games to buy on the PlayStation Store, I literally just look at the $10 ones and under, the indie ones. Whereas you would be like, "What's new?"
I didn't even look at that because my internet's so shit.
2K15.
My internet's so shit, it takes a long time to load, so I don't even bother. I just go, hey, what's PlayStation Plus giving me for free? Oh, that game's average. I'll download it.
Yeah, I've got to get those ones
for 2
this
seconds.
month.
Then I'll
Yeah, I
delete
wish there was better content on the Indie Store. The other day, I was doing what you were doing. And
I
was
think someone said that apparently PlayStation Plus has given away $1,300 worth of games for the year.
Yeah.
Out of all the games that they gave away, that's about the value of the games.
That's because it's carried across 4, 3, and Vita when you add all of them up. Yeah.
Still, that's
great.
ridiculous
Yeah.
value for how many games. Like, if you have all those consoles and you enjoy a lot of those games, holy shit.
But that's the thing. They're giving away specific titles which you may not play at all. So it's like, hey, here's $50 of games that you're not going to play.
Yeah.
So
You might.
it's literally $0 towards you.
But the good thing about PlayStation Plus is they go to a lot of different people.
I'm not saying
I'm
not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying the diverse range of games is there's a bunch of games like Pixel Junk Shooter and some other ones which I tried, but I was like, no, I'm not going to play this, and I wouldn't have bought it. So
yeah.
However, games like Secret Ponchos, which has come out now, and Injustice, I really want to play those two games. So that's awesome.
What was on my 14 list, Lucas?
All right, Doug, you had Uncharted.
Yep.
Cool. So you had your one AAA title for the.
I only had one on there.
No Man's Sky was also on mine as well. So,
we're talking about
You can if you want.
I guess.
Yep.
It's anticipated game, buddy.
that? Is that now PS4 only?
No,
I think it's PS4 a launch window, and I'm going to check that out while you guys have a bit of discussion on it. So
You don't give two hoots about this
Yeah, I
game?
do.
Oh,
I
you
think
do.
this game is pretty interesting.
Have you seen the latest trailer for
I
it?
showed you that, Doug.
Did you?
Yes.
Really?
And you were like, oh, it's like Stargate. Oh.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, remember?
I did say
yeah.
that.
Yes, you did.
Well,
It's a PS4.
Fuck off.
It's a PS4 timed exclusive, just like The Witness is going
Yeah,
to be.
yeah.
But it's coming to PC.
I guess good on those guys that they've Sony would have played them, paid them a truckload of cash to develop.
To make a game, yeah.
Yeah, to go that way. But it definitely seemed like a title that's going to be some little hit indie title.
Yeah.
I guess that's the element that they have such a cool art style. But you still
It's the
don't
aesthetic
know.
to it. It's literally like, hey, each world is going to be different and there's all completely different colours and I get to explore something new and it looks cool.
It looked like every time you
fantastical.
go somewhere, all the systems are named and everything. So that's
Okay,
cool.
the game to me looks really cool, but the one thing that I'm worried about is what to do in the game.
No, that was going to be my next
Yeah,
thing.
so
I said,
you can see like on the trailer they have bullets and ammunition and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So I wonder if
The
like
story of the game, right? There is the centre of the universe that you
Yeah.
have to get to eventually,
it's
right?
procedural. Is it procedural?
So the whole
Yeah.
universe is procedurally generated, and that's in the cloud. So every star system is there, everything there. Each one that you go to will be something that you can discover. They've actually done an algorithm that basically, if you wanted, they wanted to make a game that you could never get through in your life. So they have the amount of planets are, if you went to each planet every second of your entire life, plus another 900 years, you would then get to every single planet. So that's
Jesus.
how many star systems they've actually got in the game.
But I want to know, how are the animals created? Do you end up just feel like you're on
you've
another...
seen more of them, just different colours or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah,
How do
like
they
that thing that was
control
floating through the air with the tail. Like that looks cool, but how many times are you going to see that?
Did you see sort of on, I guess because it is semi-space sort of exploration, someone that did the truth about, you know how people do the truth about X movie and the truth about this?
Yeah.
Someone did the truth about Wing, what's the new Wing Commander called? Did you say that there's a new...
Star Citizen.
No, there's a new, there's that, but there's they did the truth about sort of space games, and they were like, what you see often in the trailers are never what you get to play in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Oh, sorry. I actually got it wrong, the amount of planets. Sorry.
There's more?
You would need, if you explored every planet for a second, you would need 5 billion years.
Oh, wow.
There's that many.
Yeah, so they just made a lot.
Yeah.
So
Going
back to
there'll
the,
probably be a lot of repetition.
going back to the creatures, I think that maybe they would have an algorithm where they go into Spore and click randomly generate,
yeah, I
and
wonder.
then they just make random characters. What's your next games?
Elite Dangerous was the game I was talking about, so there is an actual...
That's the Oculus Rift.
I don't know if it is or not. But they were like they weren't Kickstarter, but they were a funded game, and they've upset everyone recently because they've went from single player plus online to must have internet connection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the semi-online style game, I guess, somewhat Destiny style or whatever. So it's like you've sort of...
We're going to see a lot more of that style of game.
that
nowadays.
crossover, and they've upset lots of people about that. But someone did a trailer for what that was compared to what the actual flying and everything is, and that's probably my one concern with. Even though I'm super pumped for
No Man's Sky.
but I just wonder for the same thing. Obviously, Rhys is concerned about is how's it going to transition to a fun game.
How enjoyable and how much you can do. You
But
know?
given,
I think what I read was the main campaign and the story and stuff is going to be about 10 hours to get to the center.
there will
of
be
everything.
like something.
There's
just
a
to
full
do.
story and stuff.
Oh,
yeah, so
cool.
you start off on the outer rims of the galaxy and you got to work your way to the center. And they're like, "Ooh, something special happens at the center."
But we're not going to tell you.
Yeah, I actually
the Destiny
don't wanna
story.
know. Yeah.
Back then, on what Rhys was saying earlier.
What they don't tell you is you get there and it's like, pay $1.19 for some DLC.
The dog would just be like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, buy a hat.
Buy a hat for your dinosaur that you
I'm
named.
going to quickly let you talk.
Yeah,
I have to take a piss.
yeah,
Well,
go for it.
Sorry.
keep going. Keep going.
No, what I was going to say is totally agree with Rhys in terms of being able to play this style game on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be good. So
This,
when
I'm excited to see this as multiplayer to play with you and Rhys because this is a game we definitely will all get at the same time because it'll be a cheap indie game and we're all going to be like, hey, let's play together.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So is it drop in, drop out?
I don't know.
Don't know
Yeah.
anything
Don't know
about
that, yeah.
because they haven't really announced anything.
No, they've just said, hey, this is a cool
There's
game.
a couple
and
of few
stuff,
trailers and things.
So that I don't know when that actually comes out. So No Man's Sky release date. Let's have a look.
But the thing I look forward to with that game is being able to just boot it up and play for half an hour.
2015.
Yeah.
sometime next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it looks like one of the games where you can just jump in, do something, jump out. Yeah, you're not
which
stuck.
is why we like indie games.
Yeah.
What else have I got?
Okay, you've got Stonehearth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I don't need to talk about it. I'm just excited. It's trucking along. It's sort of picking up speed. They've sort of got over that hump.
I guess, do you feel that 2015 will be the year it comes out? Like, you've already got this game and you're already playing it basically weekly, and it's just updates. So you're anticipating
still an alpha
a specific
now.
update?
Or at Limit Theory, is that correct?
No.
Oh, damn.
No, you're anticipating a specific update or...
Stonehearth. No, so they're saying it should transition into a beta. So specific... Actually, this is what I like with what these guys are doing.
Hey, let's just hope they don't go straight to full game.
No.
Otherwise, Doug would get angry.
Oh, wouldn't I ever? But no.
They go beta for a week.
And it's like, we really like to follow the structure of Double Fine.
Beta basically is final game. Just bug
that's
fixing.
exactly what they're saying. So they're being upfront about that. They're like, so we're saying this is alpha, and every new alpha is when they consider we're adding a considerable extra content. They're like, beta is when we've stopped adding the bulk of content.
Until someone might say, this idea would be really cool, and you're like, oh, true.
Fortunately or unfortunately, which I was Spacebase DF9 is going to make my angry list. But they're like, oh yeah, people can mod, blah blah blah. Didn't do too much, and then they just released all the source code. And I've been looking to see if anyone's been doing stuff, and I haven't come across much. I haven't looked for a little while, but these guys are really heavily on the modding. So they're seeing modding as what will be really big for them because they're a small studio. But they eventually want to have, whether they're going to use Steam Workshop or that I think they're going to make their own, so that people are like, here's cool content. I think if they like it enough, it can just become game content. But they're feeling towards the end of next year, they will be towards beta, which will still be obviously in development, and then they still want to pump out big stuff after that. But I think it's going to be at its most playable. It definitely won't be finished next year. I'm aware of that.
But you're anticipating getting up to the final stages.
Yeah, or just to a point where you'll be able to play 5 or 10 hours and the game not crashing, or you still unlocking new elements of the game. So
the final one on your list is what Rhys mentioned before, Limit Theory.
Which I've purposely stopped talking about a fair bit. Stop upsetting everyone. And everyone's sick of me
but the good thing about that game is that every time, as much as I don't follow it like what you do, but every time I look at it, it has improved significantly.
Yeah.
For one dude and the other two guys? Is it just one dude?
No, now I'm confused when I remember a while
the other
ago
guy was going to do something, but I've not heard about it.
Yeah, there was a sound designer supposedly, and then there was meant to be another graphic designer.
Yeah.
Both people seem to have evaporated.
Oh, really?
He's never spoken about it.
And it's like, the really cool thing about his stuff is he just experiments. It's not like he's got a direction, but he still just really experiments with stuff, and it does improve every time so much.
And I think what's really interesting, because he's a graphics guy, but then his take on games, but the games that he's basing it off, it's like, well, this was fun, and I'm kind of just replicating this, but in a procedural world.
Yeah.
And I think where Lucas just said, well, he really needs to get it out before Star Citizen, blah, blah, blah. I think this game, it's going to, on his custom engine, is going to run a lot better. Seems to run really well. He's not really overshooting. Like, I don't think he's not trying to reinvent the wheel. He's just like, here's some cool elements, and I've worked off this. But the whole procedural thing is what he's really big on, and probably along the lines of what the guys with No Man's Sky. But you won't be able to just fly in and out of planets and stuff. But you know, he just wants it. You can trade, you can do whatever. I really am thrilled about excited about the RTS element, being able to zoom back, go to a system view, and have a whole fleet of ships. Like, that's freaking cool.
Like, when I first saw the original videos of what he was doing, I never thought that he would do something like that.
But like, even on the prototype, to a certain degree, you could do that.
Yeah.
And even and that was only like, you could just make a lead ship and tell all the other ships to follow that, and that was the limit of how much. You couldn't do formations, couldn't do anything. But I think if you could build up your empire to the point where you'd have your main ship.
Listen to your empire.
Well, that's what
he's like. I'm a Sith now.
Well, that's sort of how he envisions it. Yeah,
Out of his ears.
some
extra.
saber. Are they the crackly ones? But I think from the start of starting with a single ship with limited credits, and then building to the point where you've got, like, he wants it so you could sit back if you wanted and not even really. You'd be playing it like a business simulator sort of thing. You're just like creating contracts and doing all that. So it's like he's ambitious, but he's definitely getting to the tipping point as well, where he seems to have implemented
enough,
and now he's really just pumping through content.
Yeah.
So his latest thing, he's implemented quite a good market, and often now he's like, well, I've implemented this, and it has taken me way longer than I anticipated, but this will just be an exact, I'll be able to just rejigger things and that'll work for this element and this element. So it's like, he's really, I think over the next 12 months will just start pumping stuff out. He still is claiming that next year, but like he's moved his dates and stuff around, but he's so upfront that you don't feel bad about it. And like the $20 or $40 for the, I guess I could have just read and watched all these trailers without backing it, but just, it's interesting to watch and read.
Yeah, well, you at least know you're going to get a good game.
Well, that's your 2015, Doug. So mine, I had No Man's Sky, and I mentioned before Phantom Pain.
Yeah,
so I'm anticipating that one just because Ground Zeroes was so short, and I really want to play
what
the
date
big
have
Metal
they
Gear.
put on that?
2015. So as far as I'm aware.
I can't wait.
I also mentioned before Broken Age Act 2 is back on my list because it did not come out in all of 2014.
Bastard.
I have been following the videos and stuff on Kickstarter. However, they've really slowed down.
They don't put it on the Double Fine YouTube?
It's a backer exclusive. So yeah, I should let you guys watch it because it is.
Nice. Thank you.
It's the best documentary making a video game.
Dude, when they were doing the documentaries of the Amnesia Fortnite, that was sick. That stuff was awesome.
This stuff is way better. I'll give you guys a link because it's so good and it's so insightful, and that's why like every time like I'm like, oh, Double Fine have done this. It's so cool.
So I talk about how I enjoy following video game productions. He's never mentioned this. No. Like I often talk about, I love just reading about it.
Each episode's like an hour and a bit long. That's great. And it's like, it's funny. It's like Tim Schafer doing his funny, but he's so funny. I love that guy.
Yeah, they put so much freaking production.
A little bit too much. So
into these videos.
You're starting to freak him out, all right?
No. All right, so yeah, Phantom Pain. I'm really excited about that. I'm a bit worried about
Phantom's
the 200 hours.
Metals, Gears, Solids, the Phantom's Pains. That's Phantom's Pains.
So yeah, those are the three games. My fourth one is Hotline Miami 2.
Yeah.
I am so pumped for this game. Love the first one. Could not stop playing it. Even if 2 is just basically DLC for the first one, I don't care. I just want to play more Hotline Miami.
I understand how you ever thought that was a good game. I was like, you're an idiot. I don't understand. I'm like, the internet are idiots. I'm like, everyone's idiots. And then I played it. I was like, holy shit, this is real good.
I'm an idiot.
And I'm like, no, I'm the idiot.
The music
in a Windows 8 bug, a sound bug, where when too many sounds played at once, it crashed. They could never fix it. It was inbuilt in Game Maker.
Really?
And there's never been... Like, so the specific levels that would break it is when there was lots of windows and someone would shoot through and it'd hit like 6 windows.
Oh, really?
And then, boom, crash.
Oh, wow.
I
can't remember whether playing it with a controller was more fun or a mouse.
Yeah, I played it with a mouse. So.
I played controller. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it was controller. Yeah, no, because I had an Xbox 360 controller for the PC and I played it with that and it was heaps fun. Loved it.
I can't. That game I'm very excited to play as well. Because number one was just sick. I want to play more of it.
Do you know what would be so good, and they haven't announced it, but if it was in it when it came out, would be multiplayer.
Oh my God.
If it was 2-player, like I would call you up, Rhys, Doug, don't worry. I'd call you up, Rhys, and just be like, let's do the co-op, let's get in there and shoot some people.
Well, it'd be interesting to start opposite side of the map. That'd be
or fighting each other. Me and Luke talked about this ages ago. Our little dreams had never come true. When we want to make a video game was an idea of
a multiplayer Hotline Miami cross Towerfall.
Yeah,
I wanted GTA 3D since GTA 1, so I pretty much come up with GTA 3.
Yeah.
So shut up.
Right,
Bitch.
okay. Let's go.
All right, that was our 2015.
Yep.
Okay, Ben's, let's name them quickly. What Ben has: Halo 5 Guardians.
Ah, shut up.
Let's not talk about that. That'll come out buggy, like the Master Chief Collection. So
No, it's good. You
good luck.
release it, 6 weeks later, you get the multiplayer working.
Yeah. And it will be mouldy.
Multiplayer.
Multiplayer. Super hot.
Super hot. That's the game.
Oh,
Don't-
I know about that now.
Lucky.
That game was cool. He also picked The Division, so
Yep.
on our race, and Just Cause 3.
Just Cause 3. See, I haven't been a big fan of Just Cause games.
He loved number 2.
He does them.
Yeah.
He does them? He does them.
Yeah. Now here's
I was always on the fence with number 2, so they just, I don't know, tweaked it.
Yeah.
Had better characters, maybe. I don't know.
Now I'm going to point out, you had completely AAA. Doug, you had the movie quality AAA game, plus a bunch of really specific indie titles, like Limit Theory, very specific. Stonehearth, like a very specific player to play these ones.
Do you want to know why?
Because these were your
Doug's
most
so-
anticipated
No,
games.
no.
Doug's so creative.
No, not at all.
So creative.
I like diversity.
Because I think the other games, they're just going to AAA stuff to an extent. It's just going to come out, and it is what it is. Like so many good, there's so many big games, and all the money goes into it. There's not as much middle ground anymore, and then there's just indie. That I was talking to Lucas about this the other day. It's like, for the most part, most full-on AAA games are just quite good. To some, there's definitely going to be some, even if they're not creative, they're probably well presented and everything else. So I think they're just going to come out.
Yeah.
And
However, the Uncharted ones are just phenomenal.
I think
games.
they just,
So-
for me, have taken it to another level. I just really enjoyed those.
Yeah.
With a lot of indie games, I get really, really confused about,
What is this? Is this a game?
Let me finish my sentence.
I'm only crossing a road with tap with my finger.
Yeah.
And I died. I don't want to die.
Why may a flea crossing a road?
Oh man, playing as the flea is the best. I'm sorry. In that game, Crossy Road, the flea is literally the best thing to play because it goes boing, 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 boing. It's so hilarious.
The fact that I used to look on Newgrounds all the time, I put animations on there all the time, but there's so many games that are so similar to indie games that are on PlayStation platforms and all that, and I don't understand why they wouldn't take the time and just make them that are available for a system like PlayStation and computer and all that, instead of just straight Flash. Which does my head in. Like, they could make so much more money instead of just posting
Well,
it
that's
to
where
Newgrounds. and
Super Meat Boy
Miniclip and-
actually started. Did you know?
Well, the team who made Superboy started on Newgrounds.
Fancy pants.
The team
Flash.
that made Castle Crashers, they started on Newgrounds. Yeah. They made Alien Hominid, which then went to platform
Xbox
of Xbox
Arcade
and
and then,
PC and all that. So
Castle Crashers is still
I
massive.
don't know why they don't just move that to the right thing.
But did you notice as well, for once, my indie games, for the most part, they're all actual long extended play games. But they're probably ones you could play incrementally, but then they're ongoing.
So
Rather
none of these
than just-
games Lucas could play.
No, he'd be alright
No.
with them.
He'd be like,
Probably
that was
He's
cool,
more-
but there's no FTL.
No.
Yeah,
See, I haven't mentioned FTL for ages because I haven't played it for ages. As soon as it gave me extra content, I was like, nah.
Papers, Please was released being released for iOS.
Yeah, that's coming out soon. Yeah.
Just a little tidbit that I thought Luke would like.
All right, so I'm going to bring up, it is now 52 minutes into this podcast. Now, we can jump into another 10 minutes of discussing the highs and lows.
Letdowns.
Yeah,
that's
do a
cool.
quick-
Let's do that. Okay, so most something. Let me find my list. Okay, sorry. Let's just start off with literally our game of the year, and let's list it right now. Now, the one game of the year you enjoyed the most. It's probably a surprise to everyone else here. It's probably Last of Us for Rhys.
No.
All right.
I can't say that. That game came
What
out
was
ages
that
ago.
one game you just loved, and you looking back on 2014, you might have thought in your head it was a different game, but after reading a full list of everything we discussed, gone, wow, that game was the best. That game I enjoyed so much, and that was mine. Mine's actually
Well, I went
changed.
back looking at my list. But yeah, what was your game?
Mine was Super Mario 3D World.
Oh, really?
That game I finished.
Yeah.
And
Did you do the other stuff? Oh,
I
no,
did.
3D World. I'm talking about 3D, whatever the 3DS is. Do they have a trippy world that once you get all the stars,
I haven't
you can flip the world around and make it all trippy? And then
I haven't got all the way through that,
Yeah.
but I've finished the entire base of the game.
Yep.
And I have gone back to find lots of other stars and lots of other extra little things. And I love the Captain Toad levels.
Yeah.
Like, they were the dioramas, they were so good. I am actually really excited about Captain Toad.
Yeah. See, the
cool.
amazing thing about 3D Land was that it had so much more playability. You could play the first level, and it was just trippy and weird, and cool stuff happened. So I hope that happens in
they've taken a
World.
lot of 3D Land elements.
Yeah.
So Super Mario 3D World was my game of the year because it was just fun, and I just kept playing it.
Yep.
I couldn't put it down.
Yep.
So,
All right, well,
and it was surprising for me.
my game of the year would have been the Game of Thrones Iron from Ice.
I thought you were talking
Game
about
of Thrones game.
the other Game of Thrones, the
by
terrible one.
Telltale, if they had every episode out, because holy shit, that first episode is like the best way to do it is swear. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And it makes you, because you're playing a game, it makes you forget that it's a game of
HBO.
it's a George R. R. Martin
Okay,
game,
yeah.
and you're just like, oh, everything's gonna be swell.
Does it link in with the TV show?
Yes.
So the complete,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, like I'll have to bring it up on another podcast to
so
talk
it's
about
literally
it.
like the Walking Dead games where there's like characters from the TV show that are just extra stories and stuff.
But they don't really use much other characters. But I know in Game of Thrones they do. But that being said,
Okay.
my game of the year is The Walking Dead Season 2. Because I think last year's or the year
Last
before
year
that
you said
was
Walking Dead Season 1. Yeah.
These games have just captivated me so much, and it put so much emotion into me and made me think about every single choice that I do and go, fuck.
Because you really liked The Wolf Among Us.
Yep.
You
I liked Wolf Among Us. I didn't like the ending to it.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, this is basically your...
I love stories.
But
I don't like reading books.
we used to play adventure games that, like, full stop. That was our games that we used to play. The Dig, all the Monkey Islands. That was the games we literally repeatedly played for years.
Yeah.
And I can clearly see that these games, like...
Well, Telltale
are
has
right
just
up your
brought
alley, so-
across point-and-click adventure games with a new element and made it so much more enjoyable. And I love these games.
Okay, I'm
feel for
going to
every
have to
character.
finally finish Walking Dead Season 1,
Yeah.
and I'm going to have to get into Season 2 and The Wolf Among Us and play
And the Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. So which one do you reckon our listeners should start with right now?
The what?
Which game right now do you think our listeners should get if they're listening to us? Which Telltale game?
Okay, it's going to be hard.
Like, get them all eventually.
Yeah.
But which one should they
If you
jump
like
into?
Game of Thrones more, play the Game of Thrones.
Okay.
But be prepared that you're going to wait a while for all the episodes to come out.
Yeah.
If you like Walking Dead, play The Walking Dead because it kicks fucking ass. It is so good, so fun. I love it. But I don't know, whichever show you like better. If you like both of them, play The Walking Dead because there's more you can play and there's more you can feel.
I really need to allocate some time and play Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I started, and that's it.
At least 10 hours.
All right, Doug, what's your...
Okay, Doug. Game of the year.
Someone tell me. I don't even know what...
All right, your game of the year, Doug.
It
What?
has to have been released this year, and I don't even freaking know what...
I gave you a full list of everything we
Yeah,
discussed.
I'm looking through, and I was like, holy crap.
It's Watch Dogs, right?
Yeah. I was like, holy crap, I have not... I don't know if I've played...
We literally
was
gave you 5 minutes of chatter so
yeah.
that you could look through it and find it.
I think he was just pretending to look at paper like he was smart. He's like,
No,
there's footage now of this podcast.
I genuinely was. And I'm like,
Do you feel that this year was more of a year that was like,
it
for
really
games?
was for me. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't... Whenever it was, I got a PS4, and then... You know how I feel about cross-generational games, so I never dive in then, and Watch Dogs is probably a classic example of that. They always make me a bit,
I think Viscera Cleanup Detail was Doug's favourite.
I did really enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed several games,
Yeah.
but there was nothing, like
That
the way you were talking about Walking Dead, like,
Such a fan.
What about the way I talked about Mario? Like,
yeah, you as well, but
You don't bring that up as much as me.
no, I know.
yeah, this will be
look
the
at that.
first year,
We'll
You
move
don't
on.
know.
no, like just quick. Like I've played a lot of things, but then they're just really. I'm sure there obviously was some really good stuff out there, but nothing that I personally ended up sinking time into and finishing.
Well, you need to play Walking Dead. That's
I
it.
think one of your iOS games was probably your favourite games of the year.
Yeah.
And it depends on how you.
I think
Duet.
There's lots of games that I
Duet.
sunk time into.
Yeah.
But didn't fall in love with.
No, there was no Uncharted. There was
That's
no,
all right.
There
All right.
wasn't like, and I suppose it doesn't have to be a AAA title, but there wasn't something that I sat down
Yep.
and
All right.
played.
2015, the video game podcast by Rhys and Lucas.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so biggest disappointment. Doug, you obviously were disappointed in a lot more games than you were excited about.
Well, let's say
what
Watch
it
Dogs.
sounds
Everyone knew Watch Dogs was
Yeah, I didn't even
hopelessly
play that,
shit.
so I don't know.
we did put
Terrible.
this on our Facebook page, these questions. Watch Dogs was a resounding
I will.
disappointment.
I'll just quickly go through a couple of mine because they didn't really need much discussion. No Fallout 4.
Oh, you just talking biggest disappointment of anything?
Yep,
All
no
right,
Fallout 4. I'm pretty sad about that.
Oh. Okay,
Let's see, Doug, what are you searching up?
my biggest
I'm
disappointment.
checking if I did play anything.
Okay, that's good.
I'm going to go. My biggest disappointment then was no Broken Age Act 2.
Yeah, okay. That
Very
makes
disappointed
sense.
in
Yeah.
that. However, it was also Peggle 2
Yeah. Oh, really?
because it was just another Peggle game.
Oh.
There was nothing like.
It was amazing.
Okay, actually, let's change that to So You Were Being Hunted.
Oh, you didn't
No,
enjoy
not
it?
that. No, that was
What?
good.
Yeah.
Sorry. The one Gods Will Be Watching. I was like, this game's going to be great, and it was so hard.
This game's so fucking hard.
I was like super frustrated at it. Yeah. So okay. Rhys, what
So
was
no
it?
Fallout 4. Thief, the reboot of
Oh,
Thief.
yeah.
That was
disappointing
That was
too.
just as bad
Oh, man.
as Watch Dogs.
God, there's so many
No, that
games
was
we
worse
can
than
list.
Watch Dogs, to be honest.
Yeah. No.
Yep.
No,
Yep. Worse than
I-
Watch Dogs. I
I
thought
actually-
I thought it'd be as good as Dishonored. No, Dishonored destroyed it.
Yeah.
And the last one for me is Elder Scrolls Online.
That it wasn't.
I started in my head. I was like, "This is an MMO." I got into it. This is an MMO. Fuck off.
Did you
Terrible
play
game.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I
played it for hours.
I gave you.
I really
Gave
tried.
you like
really
a-
hard. No,
that's
I got
right.
the beta. I tried
I
the
got
beta.
beta.
Yeah,
Because
beta.
as the podcast, we are an Elder Scrolls Online owner.
Yep.
So-
Yeah,
but none
we
of us
never
play
play it. So that's good. What was your biggest letdown?
Other
than
well,
Broken Age?
literally, like, okay, so Peggle 2 is enjoyable, but it's just Peggle.
Yep.
Like, I could have just played Peggle.
Yep.
Okay. Not So You Being Hunted. That
You
was
should
good.
play chess too. That's basically what you went after.
The colours change.
Guys will be watching. I was disappointed in how freaking hard that game was, and I should have just turned it. I should have turned it down to the easy mode, but I felt like defeated if I
Same,
did that.
I just uninstalled it.
And I was like, this is how the developers wanted me to play it.
Yeah,
And
no,
and
no,
like,
thank you.
hang on, but did they want me to finish this or not? And also Ground Zeroes. So I was disappointed that was just super short and stuff. So
Smart idea.
Doug
My single biggest disappointment is
Spacebase DF9.
is not finding a game of the year.
yeah, well that
And-
which it really was like for me pretty whatever year.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn Spacebase. Like versus just being disappointed in a game that say Watch Dogs. I think it just sort of coming out and then I was anticipating it and then it just wasn't good. But whatever. But I think I'm just disappointed with how it was handled. Spacebase, like I said, I was following that weekly. Love reading their weekly updates. They seem to be rapidly putting out content for the game. They'll gene up. They had a schedule of this is what's going to be put into the game, and I'm like, that sounds freaking amazing. And then to just come out and say, well, we're not making money right this instant, and we're spending money, so we don't want to continue to do it.
Oh, they're not continuing to develop? I didn't know this.
With freaking, maybe we talked
No,
about when
this
you were
was on a
away.
week I was away.
Actually
Probably.
I don't think you actually talked a lot about this.
Oh,
which
really?
is,
We
yeah.
just talked about it.
We just didn't want to
they
like,
said,
have
yeah,
a whole podcast related to Doug being angry
yeah, because I
about
was
this
going to
game.
just be remember we talked about it, like Doug, don't talk about it before for the podcast.
Yeah, we did
So
that.
they went to 1.0, released the source code for the game, said, yep, you guys can mod it, go crazy. Tim Schafer did a video on it. Yep, so we were spending our own money. No, we weren't taking out of this, blah, blah, blah. Because they had investors and they just said, look, we'd ran, like, that's why there was like several times it went on sale. They were trying to get a big user base or a larger user base. Couldn't get there apparently. And they're like, we just don't foresee that it's going to make money.
This
And I was
happened
like,
about a week after I bought the game. At
Yeah,
full
oh,
price.
really? I've
Really?
been talking about it for so long.
Because I bought it
And-
too, and I was like, yeah.
And Rhys had jumped on and like the stuff they were showing the week before and everything they were talking about that was going to be
In the
looked
game.
so awesome. And it looked like they could achieve it. It wasn't like, oh, they just couldn't implement it. It was too hard. No, it was all like all the infrastructure to do what they wanted to do was capable. They'd made all the simulation stuff for the characters and obviously the big elements. Rhys always like compared it back to was Theme Hospital, but probably more complicated or far more complicated.
That is actually very disappointing. So
Yeah.
that's
and
what-
especially from the guys that probably get the biggest raps for doing the best sort of
Out there games.
and just Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So, I don't know.
Surprise hit. Rhys?
Surprise hit.
Yeah.
Shit.
You
How long is this podcast going to go for?
Well, let's just quickly, let's just run through
Surprise
surprise hit.
hit.
What was the surprise hit?
Oh, this war of mine, definitely.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Well,
Just-
we did discuss that in another one, so yeah. Doug, did you have a surprise hit?
You do yours because there was
Okay,
something I
my
played.
surprise hit that we
I don't
played
know.
this year was Mnemonic.
Mnemonic.
Remember the Double Fine... I'm going
yeah,
back to
yeah.
Double Fine. Remember the... what was it? The Amnesia Fortnite
Yes,
game?
yeah.
And we were looking at, we're like, that one's going to be the worst. We're not going to enjoy that one.
Wasn't a hit, but yeah. It was a
But
good
we
game.
played it, and
Very interesting game.
it was a prototype, so it wasn't a full game. But
we also did a playthrough of it that we filmed that
I
you
know.
didn't upload onto the internets.
so, but that
job,
game,
Luke.
playing it was felt like it could
Fun.
be something really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was surprised at that. Also, Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
going,
Yeah, I
That
didn't
you,
even
hang
know
on,
about
surprise
that
hit,
game.
and you didn't finish it.
yeah, because I wanted to play something else that I got. What did I get? Smash Bros.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
no,
and
you
then-
got Smash Bros. Way after that game.
Yeah, I know, but I just didn't play. Okay, anyway, Doug.
I was
you
like,
hit
damn
someone
it,
at all?
There was something that I wanted to mention that I couldn't remember. Crossy Road.
We talked about that. How did
no,
that
it's
jog
a-
your memory?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, why couldn't I remember the thing?
skip
I'm
that
like,
Game of the year, Crossy Road. Okay, biggest time waster. This is the final thing. The
Crossy
final
Roads.
question we asked on our Facebook page, Crossy Road. Yeah, okay. Rhys?
Biggest time waster.
Oh, I'm going to go with mine. The game which I've spent a lot of
No,
time
so
in.
I was going to say, I've named it Biggest Time Waster. I re-corrected on Facebook. Not that you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't have played that. No, just the thing that you spent the most, the single game that you spent the most time on for the year.
Do you want to know mine?
Yep.
Surprising. Forza Horizon 2.
Oh, really?
Yep. I've spent a lot of hours literally driving around just trying to get those bucket lists done. Like the little Mini Cooper and stuff, and like the challenges, and just repeating them over and over and over again. I spent a lot of hours doing that.
When
I could have been playing multiple other games.
Unturned. I turned out I liked that a fair bit.
When was the PlayStation release? What month?
It was like a couple of weeks back last year.
Okay,
November.
then it can't be that. Oh, no, it was. Because I got the
November.
PlayStation, there was barely any games to play. I then borrowed Skyrim off a friend, so biggest time waster would be Skyrim. I clocked 100 hours.
Yeah,
that
so
was pretty
that
good.
didn't have to be necessarily, I suppose, something released this year.
Well,
Thank you guys for tuning into one of our extended podcasts
Yeah.
of 24. Well, I guess it has to be. It was a year in review.
Now,
There's a
I-
lot to discuss.
I heard this wonderful thing on Idle Thumbs that said, the best Christmas gift that you could give us is a review on iTunes. So I'm going to steal that from them.
That would be awesome, yeah.
So if you guys could review us on iTunes, not like Pirate Mel, because she doesn't like us, but like yourself, if you enjoy it, please give us a review if you've made it this far. 5 stars.
That'd be nice.
Or I would take a separate gift of just
Money.
tell a friend. Yeah, no, tell a friend that you think could be interested.
Yep.
That's probably the other sort of thing.
And
Or-
I'm going to ask for the third gift. Send us money.
No,
No,
Lucas
don't-
is going to ask for Facebook. Give us some Facebook likes if you haven't already done that.
Yep.
Jump
And,
onto Facebook, give us a like, because we do post lots of cool stuff on there, and we post competitions and games, and we'd like discussions and stuff
And
like that.
Facebook.com/the Trusty Crowbar.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone for the great feedback today on their Game of the Year
Yeah.
and so on and so forth.
Thank you.
That was really good.
Thanks, Internet.
But,
and
Yeah, final podcast of 2014. We'll
Yep.
see you in 2015, or your
Yep.
ears will hear us.
back
Or
for
your eyes will see us.
a
Yeah.
new, refreshed, completely the same podcast.
Yeah, same one.
Lucas's hair is probably going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
His beard's
Did
still
you
gonna
just
be
wink
crappy.
at
He
me?
did. It was uncomfortable. When did you do that? Get the fuck out of here.
I didn't even intentionally do
Horrible.
it.
I bet you do that at your job to people.
That's like,
Yeah.
he's like, you want this.
Oh, so uncomfortable.
It wasn't even
Oh, my
intentional.
God.
Okay, we'll see you next year.
I'm out. Press X
Hey,
to be out.
Yeah, do a little explosion.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Bye.